Over in California, there is a place called Point Reyes. It's a wonderland for wildlife, brimming with diversity. Amongst its stretches of ocean cliffs are animals living their lives, calling this their home, or a stop along the way. This past autumn, I spent 3 days out exploring the wilderness of Point Reyes and saw so many wonderful things. From the biggest seal in the world, the size of a literal car, to one of the smallest shorebirds in the world that makes its nests along Point Reyes' shore. Through this adventure, I would encounter animals that were one day on the brink of extinction and see rare behaviors barely documented from a unique romp of otters. No other place in California quite compares to this one. And on day one, after a long drive in, I was excited to get photographing. But what we started off seeing caught me completely off guard. An elephant seal. Up to a massive 8,800 pounds of chunk clumped into as large as an 18-foot long body. Seeing one in person up close, down at eye level, was incredible. What's crazy is that these male elephant seals often weigh 3 to 4 times the size of a female. Imagine being one of them. This encounter was completely unexpected at this time of year, as the males exited off the beach a few months ago. But this male was apparently chilling and getting some rest in for the day before heading back out into the ocean. Staying a safe distance away, I tried to get some shots of what I could in harsh light up close, but also with the famous coastline cliffs in the background far away. The local ranger nearby said he had been camped up here for about 2 hours, and man was I lucky, because not a mere 5 minutes later, he decided to end his slumber and run off into the ocean. Back in the water, he's more at home with his weight, and with so many days left to explore Point Reyes, I couldn't wait to see what lied ahead of me.
That was such an insane moment. What amazes me is you can see here the size of just some of these, kind of the flipper marks here, the size of the body. Half of it got washed away by a wave as it came in. But I mean, this guy was literally out from here to probably somewhere maybe around back here. It's massive.
The rest of the day was treated as a scouting trip. My ultimate goal during this trip was to get some incredible photos of the Tule elk rut. Tule elk nearly went extinct in the mid-1900s and have since made a comeback with the help of conservation here at Point Reyes. Capturing them while in a rut, aka their mating season, is one of the best ways to show them in their true nature and see some incredible behavior. While out scouting, I ran across a male and female pair of black-tailed deer up on the southern tip of Point Reyes and captured this animalscape image I decently liked. As we drove around the peninsula the rest of the day, I took inventory of the Tule elk herds we ran across and took a few photos here and there, deciding which locations would be best to spend our next 2 sunsets at. While searching the roads, we ran across a coyote on the side of the street as well, which provided this backlit photo opportunity, as well as a group of wild turkey that I was able to capture. The day was coming to a close, and it was time to get back to our lodging. But little did I know what crazy encounters I would have on day 2 of my adventure. Out in Point Reyes, there's a group of river otters that have taken over the lagoon as top predator in the food chain. They've been famous for the recent discovery that they have developed a taste for pelican, unheard of elsewhere. I knew it wouldn't be an easy task to see them and position myself correctly for a hunt like this, but here I am, out to try to find them and document this behavior on video. To my surprise, I actually got to see them right out of the gate and in perfect view. While not a hunt, I got to watch their incredible social nature unfold as the family of otters tussled in the dunes. They were out and running along the shoreline, the new parents with their young, and as they approached a hollowed out log, I got to film some incredibly fun behavior. River otters are such playful creatures. While the photos from this angle weren't ideal, I was so glad to be able to get this perspective across the lagoon to show off this behavior on video. I was thankful that I had the new Sigma 300-600 f4 with me on this trip. Because this lens is a tight angle zoom lens, it allows me to get incredible reach when I need it, yet back out to show a bit more context when necessary as well. All without compromising prime lens quality. This really is the lens of my dreams, and was the primary driver for me switching to Sony lately. And if you're interested in hearing more of my thoughts on it, after testing it out for a few months now, I'll be releasing a review on it in the coming weeks. So subscribe below and hit the notification bell if you're interested. So far, this morning had started out with a win, and as the river otter swam off into a further part of the lagoon and left me behind, I made my way out to the shore.
That was an incredible moment. We got some kind of the markings. I just wanted to kind of come over and check them out. Some of the paw markings you can see of these river otter all along here. And then even where they were tussling in the sand, you can see it's kind of worn down, smoothed out right here. And yeah, what a cool interaction that was to get to witness. And then here's the log that they were playing in and kind of tumbling around. What playful, cool little creatures. And honestly, I knew that they were kind of playful animals, but seeing them in person was just totally different and so exciting.
Point Reyes is also famous for its migrating bird population, including terns, gulls, and a plethora of shorebirds. For a while, I watched these whimbrel as they foraged through the seaweed, surrounded by kelp flies, and I got some pretty interesting shots, showing this relationship. But the real shorebird I was out here looking for was the coveted snowy plover, a fan favorite amongst birders. And man did I get lucky. This tiny bird blends into the sand perfectly, and being as tiny as it is, it's often incredibly difficult to find. But as I was photographing the whimbrel, I suddenly noticed off to the side 3 little birds sunk into divots in the sand. It was snowy plover. I immediately started capturing video and photographing them from where I was at, careful not to disturb them. This week I'm visiting is the final days that these guys stick around, after having raised chicks and preparing for migration. So I was glad to have seen them before leaving. I loved getting to watch them scurry around on their little legs, and it always fascinates me how fast they can sprint along the sands of the beach. After seeing them run around me for about 10 minutes, one finally ran along a ridge a distance away, and I fired off a minimalist photograph of a snowy plover, small in frame amidst a hazy sky. What a privilege getting to see these birds, and it made my morning feel complete. And as I was wrapping up here, I also got to photograph 3 sanderlings off to the side in what would turn out to be even better photos that I really liked.
I'm excited to tell you guys about a workshop I'm hosting here in Point Reyes in just a little bit. But first, let me tell you a little bit about what makes Point Reyes so special. Point Reyes National Seashore, founded in 1962, is a famous landmark in California due to the amount of diversity found within its boundaries. Over 71,000 acres of land to roam, 490 different species of birds have been spotted within the park's boundaries. That's literally over half of the United States' total bird count. But birds aren't it, as Point Reyes also hosts 80 species of mammals and has something for every nature fanatic. The Thule elk, which almost went extinct in the mid-1900s, were reintroduced here to Point Reyes in 1978 with a group of 10. Since, they have climbed back to over 500 individuals as part of the herd. That's why I'm excited to host a wildlife photography workshop here in Point Reyes. Being here is truly a spectacle like no other, and I'm excited to show you guys.
In September of 2026, I'll be hosting a 3-day workshop in Point Reyes with the details taken care of for you upon arrival. Once you get here, lodging and food will be taken care of so you can simply photograph and enjoy your time.
This will be a workshop where I'll teach you a little bit about my techniques while photographing wildlife here at Point Reyes. We'll be mostly focusing on the bird migration and Thule elk rut, which you can see have provided some spectacular opportunities so far in this video. My goal is to get you close up with the wildlife so that you can get the best shots in the best environments possible with the diversity of wildlife here. You'll also get the chance to learn with me extensively over a 3-day period here, and in a virtual recap following that online where we can review what you've learned and see how you can continue to keep growing.
You can sign up on my website linked in the description below. At the time of launching this video, I've already sold out one set of workshop dates to previous workshop participants in early access and partially filled up a second. So if you're interested in joining, don't delay as space is limited. I hope to see you there. On the way hiking back to my vehicle, sparrows darted in and out of the bushes. Bees pollinated the flowers, and at one moment, even a California quail posted up on a post for me. The lagoons at Point Reyes are teeming with life, and I was excited to come back again tomorrow morning and try to document the river otter hunt again. I took a look around at the visitor center and amongst the old growth trees in the more forested section of Point Reyes. Point Reyes' landscape is so diverse, it's no wonder you can see so many different things. And while in the middle of the day, I wasn't set up to capture any great photos, I did get to see some fun things from my birding checklist, like a band-tailed pigeon, chestnut-backed chickadee, and an acorn woodpecker granary tree. And it was time once again to head out on the road and try to find a herd of tule elk to photograph for sunset. After a 1-mile hike, I made my way to the top of an overlook that had a tule elk nestled there. There was a male off to the side with a group of females he commanded dominion over. However, there was another male higher up on the top of the hill that provided some fantastic scenic ocean views. This was what I was here for. Part of what makes Point Reyes so perfect for tule elk photography is the dramatic ocean cliff backgrounds that you're able to capture behind these creatures. Watching the bull, I carefully positioned myself around the south side of it to photograph the stretched out cliffs and ocean in the side-lit background. I immediately started taking photographs, but the angle wasn't quite right yet. He was a little too low and dug in, so I waited and waited patiently. And eventually, he got up from his resting spot and started grazing, right into the perfect position for me to get a photograph. Not only was I able to get a beautiful tight portrait, but also that beautiful landscape stretched out behind him in golden light as he bugled into the sunset. And before he moved away, he gave me one last show on video and started thrashing the ground beneath him, preparing to make another move on the females below. What a cool way to end the day. And as the sun set, I thought about how I would make the most of my final day here, unknowing that tomorrow I would capture photographs of tule elk that perfectly represented what I set out to capture. On our final morning, as I was walking out to the lagoon in near darkness, a pair of barn owls was hunting off in the marsh. As they flew around in low light, it was near impossible to get a sharp shot of them, so I resorted to slow exposures and captured these ghostly images of the owl that earns its name. I came across a pair of yellowlegs foraging at the choke point of the lagoon as well, and I got a few two-shot compositions that I really enjoyed. As I arrived at the lagoon, unfortunately the river otters were nowhere to be in sight. After searching around for nearly an hour, I finally spotted them, but far off in the distance. From a ways away, I got to see one catch a fish, but this was the extent of it, and due to my distance away, it wasn't anything great. I did get to see them pursue a flock of brown pelican, which flushed before any could get near. They tried and tried again, but every time was nearly a half-mile away from me and a failed attempt. At one point, they swam close and passed me by, but they were largely underwater and in horrible lighting, so no good shots. Unfortunately, my morning pursuing river otters was a failed attempt. But I did wind up getting a few other decent shots of some birds in the area, whether that be a birdscape image of a gull sitting along a misty shoreline, or the plethora of close-ups I got of terns flying by. But all hope wasn't lost. I had one more sunset left to photograph my main objective of the trip, and I knew I could top last night's photos. I still wanted a softer toned sunset environment photograph of a tule elk amidst the coastline, and I also wanted a shot that intensely showed off the rutting behavior of tule elk. I picked a more reliable location. I had seen the tule elk on my first day of scouting, close to the road, and set up at that location. And sure enough, the biggest bull I had seen in my whole time here was still camped out, guarding his herd of females and thrashing to show his dominance. This would be my opportunity I had been waiting for. With the brand new Sigma 300-600 f4, I was prepared for anything to come. And as the clouds rolled in and out, and the sun dipped lower in the horizon, I got to watch the king bull rake the ground with his rack and bugle as females grazed around. Occasionally, another male would try to make a move in, but quickly run away when the king bull trotted his way. He ruled this hill, and even the young ones knew it, but they still hung around just to see if they could sneak in at any moment. As the evening came to a close, the lighting became perfect for some beautiful scenic shots of tule elk in their environment. I was locked in on the king bull, and as he walked along the ridgeline at the perfect time, I photographed not only my shot in perfect purple light, but also an intense shot of the king bull bugling with ground cover in his antlers, the rightful ruler of this land. This photograph was pretty much exactly what I set out for in Point Reyes. A tule elk with clutter in his rack, bugling out across the land to show all who is boss. This trip to Point Reyes had provided me with some of the coolest mammal encounters of my whole life, and is truly a spectacular place to visit. At the end of 3 days, I found myself grateful for all the amazing encounters I got to have with the otters, shorebirds, and most of all, the elk. And I can't wait to come back again next year. But one last photograph came I was unprepared for. As the light disappeared, I saw a tule elk on the hill with the moon behind it. Completely unprepared and only armed with a 24-72.8, I photographed it loosely before it quickly got out of alignment with the moon. Seeing this photograph turn out this cool gave me ideas for future trips to Point Reyes. But that will be for another story. I hope you found yourself inspired to get out into nature, and I hope to see you join me here for one of my workshops in 2026 at Point Reyes. Link is in the description. I'll see you next time.